Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
See, CM Punk is good to my reputation Shannon Sharpe does to ESPN.
Oh, no, jeez. Oh, boy. All right, see, all right, we don't need that. A lot going on.
Don't ooh me. I'm not the one getting sued.
Whoa, okay, all right. Whoa.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
That was a real scandalous move by Paul Heyman, a legendary manager of many different WWE talents over the years. He's managed The Undertaker at one point. He's managed Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, many different talents of WWE. But I am shocked and offended by the words that came out of his mouth comparing the toxic relationship between him and CM Punk in regards to his affiliation with CM Punk, comparing that to Shannon Sharpe's new revealed lawsuit that has come out for sexual assault allegations. That was very distasteful, and it's obvious that that man, Mr. Heyman, has not read some of the facts pertaining to this alleged assault. Charles, I've read some of this story about Shannon Sharpe being accused of this sexual assault. Just on what I've read so far, this is not passing the smell test to me. I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, but what I am saying, just the facts that's in court is very strange to me. She says that they dated for a year and he raped her multiple times over that period. Charles, if a man rapes you as a female, why in the hell are you going back to have sex with him again? Then he rapes you again, and you go to have sex with him again. He rapes you again, and you go back again, and you never file a report. Then she puts in her affidavit that it was only until the video was released accidentally of him having sex live on Instagram with another female that motivated her to go forward with this lawsuit. Now let's talk about the lawyer involved, Mr. Tony Busby. He's the same lawyer that tried to shake down Jay-Z and P. Diddy together in a frivolous fake lawsuit where Jay-Z filed a countersuit against Mr. Busby, and now Mr. Busby had to go and drop that lawsuit because it was found that the young girl was lying. So even the lawyer in this case has been known to file frivolous lawsuits of sexual assault. In Jay-Z's case, now he's the one involved in Shannon Sharpe's case. Some of this doesn't pass the smell test for me, man. Now, if he did it, he should be prosecuted. If he did it, he has to pay. But all of this ain't passing the smell test for me, man.
But, we started with the clip with Heyman on McAfee's show. I'm always amused when, I was seduced by the pageantry of professional wrestling as a kid like everyone else. I was more a fan of the Texas wrestlers, the Von Erich family, and other stuff. But, hey, I look at wrestling as just being a soap opera for men, right? It's make-believe with a lot of physically gifted, talented, often artificially enhanced athletes. But when we start pretending like it's real sports, it always shocks me because there's not any real competition. It's not real sports. It's about sensationalism. And Heyman is a master at sensationalism, right? And he was trying to bring attention to himself and his dispute with CM Punk. And he did a masterful job by talking about a topic of public interest that has just blown up recently. And in this lawsuit by Tony Busby, a noteworthy Houston area lawyer, who has made it a cottage industry of suing celebrities and successful athletes for allegations of sexual assault. Now, I would hope that Tony has appropriately vetted his plaintiff. I would hope that he has a mountain of evidence, because people don't imagine the evidence that is now created by these little devices we carry everywhere and are constantly texting and writing on, and they're all subject to discovery and subpoena. But hopefully if he's going to say these ugly things about this Hall of Fame athlete, who, just from his public persona, seems like an incredibly nice guy.
Exactly.
I've met him once in Beverly Hills. seemed nice enough. Seemed to love him some him, but he's a very successful.
What's wrong with that?
Right, exactly.
I love me some me.
He's a very well, but it seems like it is he's a very successful athlete. Obviously, we talk clips of Club Shay Shay a lot because there's some enjoyable, important conversations going on there. I hope that this is not true about Sharpe, but I don't think we can just assume it's not true based on the fact that a woman didn't go to the police or based on the fact that she stayed in a relationship where she's being abused. Because it is very common for women
and you only go to the police after you find out he went live on a sex video with another female.
I do think that's a good argument.
Hold on.
When women make claims after being broken up with or becoming embittered about something, and it most certainly brings into question the validity of the claims. But I don't think we can question the validity of the claims completely based solely on the fact that she didn't make an early outcry and that she stayed around to be abused more.
And that's,
because there are a lot of women that think they deserve it.
She don't go to the police, but she won $50 million.
Okay.
Now all of this rape took place over this year period of time, but you don't go to the police, but you go to civil court for $50 million.
I think it is absolutely a very defensible case, and I think for Busby to be successful in it, he'd have to have a mountain of evidence.
The same lawyer that's been exposed for filing fake lawsuits with these same similar allegations.
He hasn't been exposed for
didn't? Jay-Z filed a counter-suit and said it was a lie, said it was a shakedown, said it was extortion, and Tony Busby was the lead ringleader of it.
Okay, here's the thing. If you as a lawyer, you have someone come to you and say, hey, this happened, and they say it earnestly, and they present evidence that it did, and you look into it, and you personally
there's a bar complaint been filed.
That is not a fake.
There's a bar complaint.
But that
Jay-Z's lawyers have filed a bar complaint against this man.
Are we shocked that a bar complaint was filed against a lawyer
who sued somebody? But in that case, he may be in trouble. In that case, he very well could be in trouble.
I would doubt it. First of all, I think that Jay-Z probably does have some very uncomfortable ties to Sean Combs, and I think Sean Combs is going to be proven to have engaged in decades of horrifying conduct, of horrifyingly criminal conduct, and I think Combs will spend decades in prison.
I would say to Brother Shannon Sharpe, brother, I pray that you're not guilty of this.
Right, so do I.
But if you're innocent, brother, don't you settle nothing. Remember, Bill Cosby settled and later went to prison for it. Remember that settling don't help you. You need to prove that these allegations are wrong because settling in the eyes of the public make you guilty now.
Bill Cosby paid a bunch of money in an effort
and 35 years later went to prison for it.
An effort to illegally silence women
and
from their ability
35 years later went to prison for it. Right, and some of them same women kept taking money from him over the years.
It wasn't 35 from that.
Oh, no, that's not true. Them allegations went way back to 40 years.
Yeah, there were, but no, the rape that led him to prison was an early 2000s
And that's the same woman that kept taking money from him and went and got money from him to pay for her daughter's education.
But he was drugging women and raping them. He should have a consequence.
So if somebody drugging and raping you going to take money from for the next 30 years?
Bill Cosby, I loved Bill Cosby. America loved Bill Cosby. Cosby made a decision to drug and rape women, and we're going to
Shannon, don't you settle nothing, brother. You fight this till hell freezes over.
Cosby paid.
And then fight him on the ice.
Hopefully Shannon's telling the truth, but we can't assume that. We have to look at the evidence.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it. The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Kanye West, in the meantime, has posted a new song. And this song is called Cousin. And I want to say, when he posted this, he wrote alongside that he was sexually abused by his cousin until he was 14 years old.
Whoa.
He said his cousin is locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. He said, perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw.
What?
And here is a part of the song where he really addresses that.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Yeah, this just occurred this week. That was Angela Yee, formerly of the Breakfast Club, a radio personality, very sweet woman, talking about a very difficult subject with Kanye West, however you want to call him. And he's released this song. You know, he's been in the news, which we haven't talked much about because, you know, at what point do you stop giving him attention, for selling swastika T-shirts and praising Hitler, and clearly having what strikes me as some sort of deeply rooted psychological issue that he likes to frame as just him being enlightened, and a lot of it is anti-Semitic, and he has espoused a tremendous amount of hatred for Jews. But here he's singing, rapping, somewhere in between, about a sexual encounter with a cousin who is apparently in jail for life for murder. He talks about, if this is true and not just make-believe, exposing the cousin to nude magazines at 6 and then performing oral sex on the cousin until he was about 14. What he doesn't say is who's the older cousin and who's the younger cousin, because there are two possibilities. One, if Kanye was significantly older and he was the one that exposed him at a young age to sexual material and then engaged in sex acts with him, then it would be Kanye who was the molester. Conversely, if they were the same age, or if the cousin was older and then coerced it, it would be Kanye who's been molested. I don't think we have enough information, but it's all horrible, right? And it speaks to the character that we know, this character full of swagger and confidence, who is also a brilliant, a genius musician. I think his first 2 albums are the 2 best rap albums ever made. Who's had a lifetime of troubles. Obviously, his mother died during a plastic surgery in, I think, 2012, and it kind of went off the rails there. But man, this is horrible stuff, Cornell.
Charles, the whole situation involving brother Kanye West, as I've said to you before, I believe that once his mother passed untimely, that mentally, spiritually, psychologically, it really took its toll on this young, gifted young man. But what he's talking about in that song, Charles, is such a hidden secret in America of child sexual abuse that happens inside of families, whether it be a relative or a close family friend. And listening to that song is traumatic because obviously this young man has been involved in child sex trauma. And it just speaks volumes to what I've been saying for a while, that the brother is mentally, spiritually, psychologically struggling with some things internally that only God and proper therapy and care can fix. I too am a little curious. who was the older cousin. But at the same time, I don't believe that he would be admitting to child sexual assault and sex abuse as a young man, a young adult. I believe he's obviously talking about him being the victim of it. The whole thing is scary. It's sad, but Charles, I'm gonna say this to you, man. There are many families in this country that cover up internal family incest and sexual abuse. There are many families, grandmamas, granddaddies, mamas, daddies, aunts, uncles, who protect the family member who was sexually assaulting another family member. It's an unspoken shame and trauma that many families don't want to deal with because of the shame associated with it. But I would hope and pray that we get more clarity about this. But there's nothing that can really happen to the cousin if he's the perpetrator. He's already in prison for life for murdering a woman, I believe, a pregnant woman at that. This is just sad. It's traumatic. And I really would just pray that God would touch Brother Kanye and internally and grab him and guide him and direct him to the therapeutic spiritual therapy that he needs. A lot of people are messed up, man, in this country, from all walks of life, from childhood sexual trauma, in particular men.
Right.
Men really can't talk about
Well,
it.
here's a curveball. So we don't know the ages of the two. We know that Kanye in the statement is saying that I introduced him at the age of 6 to these magazines, right? If Kanye was significantly older, like let's say he was 10 or something and the kid was 6. And
No, Kanye said he was 6.
I thought that
I think Kanye said in the song that he was 6, I believe,
I was
right?
under the impression that Kanye said that his cousin was 6 years old.
I hope not.
But either way, if you know, it's
sad, Charles. Because
it's really,
every parent's nightmare is something like
here's
this.
what he said. He said, perhaps in my self-centered mess, it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6. And then we acted out what we saw. You know, it really is going to depend on the age, right? And who was coercing the other. But think about this. Let's say it was Kanye that was coercing the other to allow him to sexually assault him. And all the rage that young man had built up over the years, the impotency, the feelings of that he somehow defined his sexuality through abuse, and then he took that rage out on a woman.
But he said this abuse went on until he was 14 years of age.
Right, and the question is who was abusing who, and we don't know. But what we do know at this point, after a couple of years of Kanye making horrible comments that would get any white musician absolutely canceled, right? Racist, embracing of Hitler, embracing of hate symbology, embracing of hate groups. When this man had the most popular
you talking about Kid Rock?
Well, the most Kid Rock, you cannot compare anything Kid Rock has done.
He said some very racist things.
Kanye had the most popular shoe. He was probably the longevity of his rap career was unheralded.
Oh, you mean Ted Nugent?
Okay. I know we got to talk about white people, but Kanye...
Calling black women nappy head hoes.
Kanye had this great life that it appears he has burnt to the ground, all because of he's got some screw loose, and let's hope it doesn't continue to get worse.
I would hope and pray that there's some type of really intervention that can take place and gather the real facts here. Because you're right, if it was the cousin who was the victim, this could have led to a very psychological downward spiral in his life to where he became so hateful and really would do things that people would not understand, like murdering a pregnant woman. But this is awful. All of this is bad.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
One of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play with him? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh. They be out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you. Like, I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them. And I'm in the playoffs. And you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
That was a video of one of our country's great hip-hop artists, Brother Kevin Gates, speaking on the wife of, I believe, the greatest basketball player ever, LeBron James. And Kevin Gates was speaking about how he did not like how Savannah James, LeBron's wife, looks at her husband in public. And he referenced how white women look at LeBron James like they dicked out, as he said, when they see LeBron James. And I would say to Brother Kevin Gates that perhaps, Brother Kevin, that Miss Savannah looks at LeBron as her husband, and she looks at him with love. But the women that you're referencing, the white girls, and we've seen these videos before, white girls looking at LeBron in a very sexual way, they're looking at him in a lustful way. And most women don't look at their husband in a lustful way, Brother Kevin, in the public. But to those women who are giving her husband that look, that should not be a good, righteous man concern. I love LeBron's response, though. Brother LeBron says, kings don't concern themselves with the opinions of the peasants. Where to next, queen? Let's get it. Saying to his wife, let's ignore the commentary of our brother Kevin, because it really does not apply to our marriage, because we are above that, and the lustful looks of other women is beneath us. And I would want to encourage Brother Kevin, I understand what he's saying. I understand where he's coming, but I can't agree with it in proper context because it does not fit that marriage. But Brother Kevin, always, brother, if you can, try not to publicly cast your opinions about another man's marriage. That's really not what we would like to do, because marriage is sacred in Islam, Brother Kevin. And the Quran teaches us that Allah, God, hates divorce. And your words, brother, can speak to the atmosphere that creates divorce in households. And as a Muslim, Brother Kevin, we want to strengthen the family. So let our words publicly be to strengthen a Savannah James and a LeBron's relationship in their marriage. Let us not say anything that encourages the devil to get between
Man,
the
you
marriage.
went on the whole segment there.
I'm sorry, man. I lost track of time.
I mean, first of all,
I'm sorry,
I
brother.
don't think Kevin Gates is even in the top 100 best rappers. I think that I would like that at the end that he acknowledged that LeBron was probably in the top 10. The fact that you put LeBron ahead of Jordan, Kareem, and Kobe is just insane. But yes, the Kevin Gates commenting on LeBron James is how his wife looks at him. I don't know why we have to call out white girls as if they're the only ones that look at this super rich superstar as if he's an attractive man. But damn it, Kevin Gates, shut your fool mouth.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I was like, you know what? I should try some of these concepts because I don't know, how can I give advice? We started trying some of the concepts. My husband didn't even know he was my guinea pig, Chelsea. He didn't have any clue. I was trying the stuff. It was working. I was like, oh, I might have something here. Okay. I might have to write a book.
Yes.
And basically my testimony became the book.
Wow.
It was what worked for my marriage. And I have this quote and I say, fixing the problems fixes the problem. We always try to think, well, like, what's going to fix my problem? Fixing the problem. Yeah. But so often we don't focus on the fixing part. And so that's what I did with the book. I wrote the book. It's been game changer in my marriage, Chelsea. I mean, without the book, I don't know if we would still be married.
Oh, wow. That is a testimony right there. Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
Okay.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Soul challengers Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Shooter has been identified by police as an FSU student by the name of Phoenix Eichner. I know it's a big school. Did you happen to know him?
I had spent my first 2 years at Tallahassee, now called Tallahassee State College, but we called it TCC. And I was the president of a political talk group we called the Political Roundtable, and he joined the club when I was at TCC. Basically our only rule was no Nazis. Colloquially speaking, and he espoused so much white supremacist rhetoric and far-right rhetoric as well, to the point where we had to exercise that rule. I also know he was a member of the TCC Turning Point chapter, and since TCC, I have seen him in passing a couple times. Today, I was talking to a friend who had talked to him yesterday, or 2 days ago, pardon me, and he was talking about how he wasn't ready for exams.
So what went through your mind, Reed, when you heard that police had identified the suspected shooter in this instance as this individual who you had known for a couple of years?
Initially, pure, unadulterated anger. To think that someone I knew had essentially made me a statistic. To think that, I had had conversations with him at a normal level and, person to person. And for it to turn into this, I don't know why he would have done something like this. I don't know where it would have come from.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
All right, Quanell, that was a former classmate of Phoenix Eichner, who was the mass shooter who claimed two lives and injured 6 other people at Florida State University. He was describing the political leanings of Phoenix Eichner, which appear to have been a supporter of Hitler's Third Reich and some far-right organizations like Turning Point USA. What we didn't hear from this former, roundtable member was any rational or justification. What we haven't heard from America is anyone saying this was okay, this was why this happened. Everyone is universally condemning it. And it's markedly different from our yesterday conversation about the press conference of the Anthony family, where we were said the rain contributed to the murder, and then everything contributed to the murder. You said bullying.
But we should not compare this case with the Anthony family at all.
I'm not.
Two separate cases.
Instead, what I'm comparing
night and day,
is the response of America, which is we hear this guy is a scumbag,
we haven't yet gauged the entire
racist
response of America. There are many white supremacist groups, in particular like the white supremacist organization that led the march in Frisco, would try to perhaps justify this man and claim he's an angel. Mr. Phoenix Hitler, Eichner, well, he is Hitler because he had the profile picture of Adolf Hitler as his gaming profile. Everybody says how much hateful rhetoric, and this man had an absolute white supremacist theology. Everybody admits to that. This what outrages me, though. Mother and father both, stepmother and father, both police officers. Why would you have a kid in your home that you know is in love with Adolf Hitler and hate groups, and you got him around guns and weapons in your home? To go a step further, his stepmother, the police woman, who knew about this boy's hateful theology and love with hate groups and Adolf Hitler's Third Reich organizations and the death squads of Adolf Hitler, why would she teach him how to shoot a gun? She took him to teaching training sessions to teach him how to use a weapon. She should be locked up as a co-conspirator and complicit in the shootings and killings of those 2 students at FSU. How the hell could cops know this boy's theology, help him learn how to shoot a weapon? This doesn't make any sense to me, Charles.
Well, one, it sounds like Mr. Eichner was an adult. He wasn't a child. I haven't seen any reporting that both the parents were active peace officers. It was just the stepmother. I haven't seen any reporting that she taught him how to shoot and bear any responsibility. But I find it unique that you want this person who it does not seem like engaged in any way to materially help or support.
There you go right there. The stepmother taught this boy how to shoot.
No,
right here. She taught him how to shoot.
Practiced shooting with him at the range.
Now stop right there. This is a policewoman practicing shooting with him at the range. She's teaching him how to shoot. Why would you go to the range with a young man that is in love with Adolf Hitler and he's in love with right-wing hate groups, and you a police officer?
Well, one, maybe she wasn't aware. You're assuming
Oh, golly,
facts
Charles, come
and
on now,
evidence.
brother.
But two, you are literally saying that it should be okay to stab someone in the heart if they shove you, but it shouldn't have any criminal consequence. No prison for Carmelo Anthony. That was yesterday. Today you're saying not only should monsters that do monstrous things like Phoenix Egner, absolutely. If he wasn't dead, he should be dying in prison. He's just a complete scumbag. No one should defend him. And I'm not hearing anyone defend him. Where I'm seeing millions of people defending Carmelo Anthony, right?
You're mixing apples and artichokes.
And
Carmelo
here you
Anthony
are
is going to come
saying
down
that
to
it's not
self-defense.
enough.
Was he defending his life under threat? Did he believe that his life and physical protection was under threat?
Not life.
But does he believe that physically he was under threat?
Okay.
Charles, this case is very alarming to me.
Okay.
This boy was kicked out of a high school organization, the principal said, because he had so much white supremacist rhetoric and beliefs.
It was a college classmate.
No. The school said they kicked him out, Charles.
Okay.
So why in the hell would the parents? You mean tell me his stepmama, the police officer, did not know he was kicked out of a school organization because of all those white supremacist beliefs?
We don't have any idea.
You're going to tell me she did not know that his profile picture was of Adolf Hitler?
But why should she?
And then she took
Why
him
do
to a
you
gun
think
range
she should
and show him how to shoot?
Why do you think she should go to prison for that?
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because there have been other cases in America where mass shooters, parents have been indicted for allowing the child or the young person to gain access to their firearms. Also, remember the mass shooting in this country where the young boy had been caught taking a gun to school and yet the parent went and bought him a gun for his birthday? How in the hell is this cop not just as complicit when you got a young man who's advocating his love for Adolf Hitler publicly online, profile picture Adolf Hitler, and he's speaking about how much he was in love with the death squad, the personal security team of Adolf Hitler, and was kicked out of school, out of a school group for these same hate teachings and hate beliefs. Then she take him to a gun range and teach him how to shoot. She should be locked up too.
Well, let me explain the difference, right? The difference between the other examples, you're talking about the Michigan, I think, parents, and I mean, there's been a number of parents that have, not enough by any means, but a number of parents, is they are giving unlawful access to juveniles. They're allowing guns not to be secured, and juveniles have got those guns and done horrible things. You had, was it
well, his father's duty weapon was found at the scene.
Okay.
His father's duty weapon was one of the weapons the young man had.
I have not seen that reporting, but if either way, this is an adult who had a legal right to have firearms, who used a firearm. Now, if the parents are somehow involved in a conspiracy with him to go kill people, I don't think we've seen any
you're a
evidence
former
of
cop,
that, right?
If you had a son, God forbid, in your home, public talking about how you in love with Adolf Hitler, in love with all these white-ring hate militia groups,
horrible,
and talk about how he loved the death squads, are you going to take him to the gun range with you and show him how to shoot?
I'm going to get him institutionalized.
You damn right.
I'm not saying.
So how could that cop, this female cop and the daddy cop, not be complicit in this? If you're going to hold other parents accountable for the mass shootings of their children and put them in jail, these folks just as complicit, if not more.
Because there are specific laws that say if you have a firearm in your home, a child gets it and does something horrible with it, that are downstream from all the cases of accidental shootings, but they apply to intentional shootings as well. If you have that happen, then you have a criminal responsibility, a criminal culpability for allowing someone that cannot have access to access. Just like if you're engaged in straw man purchases, which means you go to a gun store and buy a gun to give to a felon or some other person that cannot lawfully have the gun, that's also a crime. And then I'll have the feds, the ATF, knocking on your door and putting handcuffs on you. We don't have any evidence any of that occurred in this situation.
But wait a minute. There's a federal law in Texas that says if you have reason to, not Texas. Right. There's a federal law in this country that says if you have reason to believe that a member of your family in the home where you reside is suffering from mental health problems, you are not supposed to give them access to your firearms.
Okay.
Now, you mean to tell me you got a young man with his profile picture of Adolf Hitler bragging about how he's in love with the death squads that led and ran the concentration camps. You gonna give him access to your duty weapon and take him to a gun range and show him how to shoot? How in the hell you gonna tell me as a cop you don't know he's mentally insane?
Well, again, I find it unique that you are arguing that, because I'll agree that I think all forms of race bigotry and racism are absolutely disgusting, and the people that have it are either really stupid or just can't formulate real thoughts, and that's individual based and has nothing to do with skin color. But I find it incredibly unique that someone who routinely condemns the white race, right?
Not the white race, the racists of the white race, not the white race.
Well, you say y'all a whole lot and try to refer to everything
because you
that a white guy...
sympathizing with this shooter.
I'm not
Do you
sympathizing
realize
with the
you
shooter.
are showing more
doing
sympathy to this man than Carmelo Anthony?
That's absolutely not true.
You ain't called him a scumbag yet.
Oh, no, this guy's a monster.
Oh, but you,
I
no,
led
but
with
you
calling
didn't
him
let,
a
but
monster.
you didn't let,
yeah,
he's a scumbag murderer.
Oh, hey, look, I'm glad he did.
So let me,
Good job
what
to
about
whoever
the cop?
shot and killed him.
What about the cop? They not scumbags in this case?
The cops in
The
this
stepmother and father, they not scumbags?
Oh, it sounds like they, usually the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
But
right?
they cops, so we don't want to call them scumbags.
Oh, no, it sounds like I don't have enough evidence. I don't know which parent raised him. I don't know if they're responsible.
Charles, come on, man.
Right? They haven't made any public statements.
Charles, are you serious?
I'm not going to just condemn someone.
So the stepmama who taught him how to shoot at the gun range, she no damn scumbag.
I will tell you, typically scumbags raise scumbags, right? I don't know enough about Anthony's parents to call them scumbags. I think they're doing a bad job.
But wait a minute, though.
But I think Anthony's a scumbag, and I think this Phoenix Wagner is a scumbag.
Mr. Metcalf, he ain't a scumbag either?
Absolutely not.
He was charged with raping somebody in 2011.
Okay, again, I think
you condemn P. Diddy as being a scumbag and a pathetic human being, and he ain't been found guilty of nothing yet.
The last 2 weeks where you have condemned Hunter Metcalf, the twin brother that is not dead, and Jeff Metcalf, the father, and the mother, and the Metcalf family, I think it's despicable.
But Charles, you condemn some black people who have not been convicted,
no,
just charged with a crime?
I condemn people when I feel like I have read enough about it that I am aware that they are absolutely culpable. With Diddy, you love to bring him up. I saw a video of him squat down over Cassie, this delicate, beautiful woman, and punch her in the face. So I think he's a scumbag, right? Anthony admitted, hey,
that he admitted self-defense.
He pushed me.
He said it was self-defense. He said from day one, from step one, it was self-defense. I was protecting myself.
From what?
Charles,
from what?
From an assault.
Okay.
He was assaulted,
so,
Charles.
So you believe that in America,
so do you admit,
that in Texas you can kill someone?
Do you admit that Carmelo Anthony was the victim of an assault?
Well, I don't know for sure.
Oh,
but
my God, Charles.
I definitely think it's a possibility.
Charles.
But do you admit that under Section 932 of the Texas Penal Code, it expressly lists when you can use deadly force in self-defense? It lists a bunch of horrifying crimes. Simple assault is not one of them.
That's not true. If you believe that your life is under threat
and that
you have been the victim of an assault, you can use deadly force to protect yourself,
you keep
Charles.
making up stuff.
No, I can give you cases.
Okay. Again, if you have to have a reasonable belief that someone is going to kill you or kill someone else.
So did Joe Horn have that belief in Pasadena?
Well, again,
when Joe Horn took a gun and shot 2 men in the back who were not threatening him and killed him, and a Texas jury said justifiable homicide.
Okay.
He was not threatened in any kind of way.
It was a grand jury that no-billed him. And again, there's 2 parts of Section 932. There's
now we're going to talk about the second part.
And we're talking about burglary.
See, now when it's white folks, we talk about the second part.
You had 2 people committing a burglary.
A crime.
Okay?
Mr. Metcalf committed a crime when he put his hands on Carmelo Anthony.
There is a list of crimes, and you know what's not on that list? Simple assault. Burglary, you can get Texas, someone's burglarizing your home, you get to kill them.
But if you're black, you got to hold on something.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
The dashcam video starts as an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper first encounters the suspect, Deshaun Leith, standing on the side of the Ohio Turnpike after crashing his car in Springfield Township.
Come on, buddy.
The trooper tries getting him away from traffic, but Leith starts battling back. This is the view from the trooper's body camera.
Next time you tell me you're gonna die. Next time you touch me, we'll die.
Leith runs away, only to turn around and run back toward the trooper, who then attempts to use a stun gun.
Hey, you gotta go down! You ain't dead!
As you can see, the stun gun appears to have little effect, and another fight breaks out. The video shows punches being exchanged, and at one point, Leith gets the trooper on the ground. He eventually takes off in the cruiser.
And then you start the car, go.
Inside the car, you can hear Leith talking to himself for about 11 minutes before this dramatic crash in North Sewickley Township, Beaver County. After this crash, Pennsylvania State Police say an altercation broke out when troopers approached the vehicle, leading them to use deadly force.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
You know, Charles, I really hate this story because when you look at the video of this altercation between this young African-American young man and the police officer, there was obviously some kind of mental health breakdown taking place with this young man. It says he had been in a traffic accident early before the police officer approached him on the side of the freeway. And from the entire video, it was my opinion that there was some type of psychological breakdown, mental health issue going on there. But I commend the officer. I rarely don't do this, but I commend that cop because legally he would have been justified under the law of using deadly force on him way before it ever took place with other officers responding to a call for assistance and help. When he stole the car and flipped it over, he's in the car for 11 minutes talking to himself. There's obviously a real mental health situation going on there. I can't speak about those other cops and what they did in responding, but to the one cop who tased him and had him swinging on him and threatening his life and fighting with him on the ground, the fact that he never took out his duty revolver and used deadly force, I appreciate that officer. And I hate that you had to go through that. And I really pray for that officer. And I pray for that young man who lost his life and his family. But I believe there was a mental health breakdown there. But that cop, he showed a great deal of restraint.
So I don't think Deshaun Leith is a young man. He has a friend, a 60-year-old Nathaniel Frazier, a community activist, who gave quite a soliloquy about Deshaun Leith's working with youth and not wanting this moment to define his life. And maybe it was. Maybe he did have some sort of mental health breakdown. Maybe it was drug use that led to a paranoid schizophrenic incident. We don't have any idea. But when he went after the officer, Do you think the officer would have been justified in shooting him while
That's not what I said.
No, I'm asking you.
Once he went after the officer and was threatening to kill the officers, and if you touch me, I'm going to kill you. More than once they would kill him. Then when he put the taser on him because he was aggressively coming toward him, the taser was not working for some reason. And then when he wrestles the officer to the ground and is physically fighting with the cop, had he took out the weapon and used it, then a grand jury would have cleared him and called it justifiable homicide. Charles, that cop showed a great deal of restraint, even when he ran away. Remember, when he ran away, got up and ran away from him, he wasn't shooting at him. He called him for backup to get assistance and get help. So even that police officer, I believe, could tell that there was some type of mental health crisis taking place with this young man at that point.
See,
it's tragic.
I would disagree. From a policing perspective, when I watched the Mr. Leith run away from the trooper, and then the trooper turns his back on him and starts talking on his radio, which is what allowed Leith to come up behind him very quick. I think that this was a huge mistake made by the trooper, right? He turned his back to a guy clearly having some psychopathic episode. When allowing Leith to get away, steal the car, drive it and wreck it, he could have very easily killed some other motorist on the highway. I think that the trooper did a very bad job and underreacted. And he probably underreacted because of the fear now in law enforcement that if you use deadly force against an unarmed man, no matter how horrible their behavior is, no matter how threatening their behavior is, that you could be looking at a murder charge. I think later in this week we'll be talking about the Grand Rapids,
or could
Michigan
it be
case.
that cop could tell, based on his experience as an officer, that this was a young man obviously having a mental health breakdown, suffering a mental health crisis?
What if he
could it be just that reason was the motivation why he didn't use deadly force?
When he sold that police car and drove it crazily, we saw the accident. He could have very easily killed an entire family of white people, black people, brown people, whatever kind of people, just regular citizens. The officer lost control of this situation and did not use the force necessary to protect other people.
So what was the force that was necessary?
Well, I think there he should have pepper sprayed him from the jump. I think from a policing perspective, over-reliance on tasers, not being willing to use
So you think he should have used this duty revolver and shot him?
No, I don't think he should have used it.
So what are you saying here then?
I think he lost control of the situation. I think by turning his back on him, he allowed him to stick up on him.
That was a bad move.
I think it was a horrible example of policing, and I think it was a crazy guy. But we both agree that he shouldn't have shot him.
But
you're
Charles,
applauding him for not shooting him. But you're also saying
let me tell you what I'm applauding.
Anthony can shoot somebody for shoving him.
Let me tell you what I'm applauding, Charles. Too many people who have had loved ones who are having mental health breakdowns or mental health crisis.
Right.
They call 911, and the police show back up. The police show up, and when they show up, they don't talk the man down. They don't call for assistance of a mental health therapist, a counselor, or a crisis intervention specialist to come and assist them like department policy is written for many of them. They use deadly force on the spot, and the family was not calling you to kill the loved ones suffering a mental health breakdown. They were calling for some type of assistance to contain the situation.
I think officers need to
We just witnessed one.
But that's not what happened
We just
here.
witnessed one where a gentleman was standing behind the gate, and he was having a mental health breakdown. The family called for assistance. The cops walk up to the gate and shoot him across the gate.
But again, what happened here, you have Leith steal a police car, wreck it, then have an encounter with a law enforcement officer, steal another police car, and then get shot dead. And the immediate aftermath of this, before all the body cams, he was a community activist and they murdered him.
So you're saying that they should have shot him sooner?
Hey, I think we should have done whatever needed to be done to protect the other citizens of Ohio and Pennsylvania.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I call her the wild child. She's the wild one, right?
Yeah.
I'm the mild.
You are the mild.
I'm the
voice
mild.
of
She's
reason,
the wild.
Often.
Yeah. So that's why the reaction videos on our show is so funny because she can have one reaction. I have a different type of reaction, and it's hilarious. I'm in the streets. She's, probably at home with her son getting him ready for prom, and and all of that good stuff.
Right.
But it's all good. I learned from her too. And I learned from her.
We need both of that.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think people viewers can relate to the different,
Somebody
different
can relate.
personalities. Like that girl crazy. Oh, that's me. That's
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut the
neighborhoods
hell
come
up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and the Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, Houston's leader considers changes in bonds in the state. Plus, we're working for answers regarding the Houston deputy shot near downtown courthouse. The Factor follow-up in just moments.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
Plus, Shannon Sharpe fires back, breaking his silence on claims he raped a woman.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored tonight. We're learning new information surrounding the shooting investigation of Harris County Constable Deputy Sheila Jones. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, an update on the Shannon Sharpe case. He's publicly calling out